really want any of you that have a team, I had hoped to sort of do like a leader Zoom prior. I can tell people are still not muted, so I don't know how. Let me see. Is everybody muted now? Okay. I sort of wanted to do a leader Zoom because I want to make sure that we are reaching down into our teams, because there's a core group of you that literally get on to everything. I know you're going to get on to everything, and if you can't, there's a reason why you can't. But the part that's really tricky, and it's the bottom line, like life comes up, there's times I can't participate in things, and that's okay, but most of the time I'm consistent in my business. So I was thinking while on this trip, which by the way was awesome, and I really want to get as many of you on this trip with me as possible, and legitimately anybody can get on these trips. The stories that I heard from the number of people, at some point, Stephanie Manny, who's underneath Beth Shapiro, I want her to actually get on a Zoom. I told her I'd return the favor. Like, her story is that, like, she didn't really do that much. She occasionally was 3UR free for probably the first year to year and a half. And then she really started to plug in, and she started to consistently do some of the things that she was being told to do all along. And now she's done awesome. Like, she qualified for this trip. She's already got a lot of volume for Cabo. I met a lady who had started the business, literally stopped and quit the business, had nothing to do with the business, and then restarted. And now I think she might be even a regional marketing director, and like, I think she had worked the business for 2 years, not really doing anything, took like a 6 to 8 month, like, quit, and then came back in. And then I think she went regional marketing director, but just plugged herself in and did the activities consistently. So when I was sitting on the beach and I was thinking about some of the same frustrations that we all feel and we all experience when we feel like our business is in one of these lulls, the consistent thing that I heard across the board is that the people who consistently do well just never falter at all with some of their activities. But it's pretty specific activities. So I think sometimes what's happening is that we're doing activities. We're posting, whether it's once a day or 5 times a week. And that definitely is part of the activities. But there's other specific activities that are pretty important too. And I feel like I want to make sure that I'm helping bring you guys to what I believe. And again, so I could be way off course, but I started thinking about what are the things that I spend the most time in my week doing. And actually a good portion of it's coaching, and that's not part of what it is that I'm going to suggest. Nobody has to do this, but I basically created a 90-day run for us. And I'm going to send this to you guys all electronically. I got home from the Bahamas, had so much to do, but I was like, I am going to make this. When I had gotten to, I want to say it was probably April or May. No, it was probably May or June. I was super resistant to committing to this 90-day run when Jess and Beth had reached out to me, because I was afraid that it was going to mean that I was locked into something. And part of me was already frustrated because I was like, I'm already doing a lot of these activities. I don't feel like I need some sort of accountability tracker. But I did it. And what I will tell you is, I'm going to tell you I want you to commit to some of these things. But there was definitely some weeks that I just wasn't as good about following up, whether it was that we went on a family vacation or something was going on. But all in all, it gave me a gauge of where I'm super consistent in my business. And it was a way for me to track my progress and the activities that I'm doing. And I will tell you, between that and then actually going to the conference where Poya did that whole Facebook training, I literally hit my car after that 90 days. And it was basically a bunch of the upline were telling me, they kept saying, if you do the 90-day run, I'm telling you, you're going to see growth in your business. And they were right. I really saw growth. So what I did is I created what I think is a reasonable 90-day run. Again, nobody has to do this, but if you want to do it, I want you to send me a personal PM that you're doing it. And I'm going to get in contact also with your upline to make sure they're part of this process, because I want to make sure that everybody's checking in with each other, that there's a way to sort of talk about where we're at, that there's accountability. I'm actually going to want to see this. Basically, every week, I'm going to want you guys to be sending me, because I want accountability. And it doesn't mean nothing bad's going to happen to you, like if you don't. But I really would like to be able to sort of track where you're at and have a really good gauge of where people are at and what they're doing with their business and how I can help support them, because I feel like I need a better picture of how I can support you. So I'm going to briefly go over this stuff. You guys are going to all get this. I'm going to post this so you can decide if you want in. Basically, anybody who does this and does this consistently, and they send me their progress, at least I'm going to say 80%. I'm not going to be crazy. If you guys have 1 or 2 weeks that you guys, whatever, fall off or something happens, not a big deal. But if you do 80%, I have not decided, but I'm trying to come up with a super fun prize that will be a little bit bigger than normal. That's why I also want to talk to some of my leaders, because I feel like, again, it's important for us to start investing back into you guys. Back in the day, Jess had access, just ate dinner, 2 days cruises. And so if we sometimes did some of the activities, she would actually give us a 2-day cruise, which was sort of like this condo, it was like a timeshare cruise or something, but we all ran like crazy for it. Even if we didn't do, some of us didn't even take advantage of it, but we ran for it. And it was a really great incentive. So I'm going to try to come up with something really fun. So that is to be determined. But I will make sure it's going to be something that I personally would want, that I want you guys to be excited about. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this. So this is essentially 90 days, or it rounds up to about 13 weeks. Okay. And what I've done on the back is I've been very specific about what each of these activities are that I expect you guys to do. My cat knows that I'm doing a training. Hold on a second. Come on, let's go. She missed us while we were gone. I don't think the kids gave her the same sort of attention we do. Hey, and that was it. Oh my God. Now she's pulling up my carpet. Okay. So basically what I wrote, and I'm going to read this part, and then I'm going to go over each of, she's being so naughty right now. Oh my God. Okay. This is an opportunity for you to focus on activities that will help grow your business. What is involved? I want you to commit. And I'm going to go back to what Rachel Hollis said. We are so good about following through on our commitments to other people, and we come up with the easiest excuses to give up on our own commitments to ourselves. So when I say I want you to commit, again, if you guys are on vacation, it's summertime, that's fine. But don't just be like, I don't really feel like doing it right now. The Slight Edge, and if you have not read Jeff Olson's book, I'm telling you, you need to read it. It's just as easy not to do something as it is to do something, and the people that are successful, it's the little things over time that add up that make you successful. It just is what it is. So if you have not read The Slight Edge, read that, but I want you to make a commitment that every day you are going to spend, and truly, other than the engagement on Facebook, which everybody's doing anyways, truly, none of these, unless you have an RRP or something specific, an event, all the other stuff should take you about a half hour to 45 minutes a day. So whether that means you get up early, whether that means you squeeze it in at lunch, there is time to fit in these activities every day. And some of them are just within a week, I want you to do something. So you need to be very, very intentional with your time. So here are the list of activities. And I'm going to define each of them. Let's see. First off, basically, this is your tracking sheet after the week. But those of you, I'm going to show you guys. This is what my crazy week looks like. And I will have stuff written down on the sides, at the bottom of everything that I do every day and people that I need to follow up with, I track every single day who I talk to so that I remember, because again, there's been times when I wasn't doing this that I'd be like, oh my God, I totally forgot that I sampled that person. I never followed up with them. The magic's in the follow-up. So if I never followed up with them, they forgot about me and I forgot about them. So it's really important for you to be writing down daily what you've been doing. So I write that in here, that track in your daily planner. And if you don't have a daily planner, please get one. If the phone works for you, that's fine. It does not work for me. I have to have a visual to see my entire week, and I need to have a to-do list because that works for me. So please get that. Your daily planner and what you write down every day for activities is what is like your roadmap for your business. So if you don't have one, please go get one. Okay, here are the activities. The first one is going to be, and we've talked about this already a bazillion times, friend request people on Facebook at least 5 times a week. Some people will say to do 5 people every single day. I'm not going to tell you to do that. At least 5 times a week, friend request 2 to 5 new people. And they're suggested friends, or if you have a friend that has a post that gets like 100 comments, scroll through those, click on people's profiles, see if they are mutual friends. If they have mutual friends, chances are they're going to accept you as a friend, and you probably have similar interests. So friend request them. 2 to 5 new people, at least 5 times a week. So if you do 2, the minimum 5 times a week, that's 10 new people. If even half of them accept you, that's 5 new people for you to be able to start to engage in. Write down someplace who those people are. Okay, so it's one thing to friend request them, but if you don't know who they are and now you have a new person in your queue, but you are not engaging them within Facebook, it's like you never even friend requested them. You'll probably never see any posts, or just by happenstance you will. So when you do that, you need to then have an ongoing list, which I do. There's a note section in my planner, and I have new Facebook request friends, and I write down those people's names. And those are people that I engage with regularly. So before I go into the Facebook engagement, the second one is join new Facebook groups. So Ashley Phillips, who was at the Bahamas, and I got to have a moment to chat with her, and she's the #1 PC earner in the entire organization. She has already hit the 23,000 in Cabo, so she's one of the 100 people that are going to Cabo with her flight paid for. She is a recovering, I would say addict, but I like to say somebody who suffered from substance abuse disorder, but she's a recovering addict who was bankrupt, couldn't rub 2 dimes together, had terrible credit. I've shared her story. Her biggest success and the biggest tip that she says is that she joins Facebook groups of people who have similar interests to her. So she's super into fashion and shoes and bracelets. So she's got like 2, 3, 4, 5 groups that are all about fashion. And she sort of made a name for herself because she posts in them a lot, like the shoes that she's wearing, the bracelets that she's wearing, and people are super interested in what it is that she's wearing and just her posts in general. So it's almost like she started to personally like put herself out there on this Facebook group. So people have gotten to know who she is. And so they're intrigued by her. So what's happened is people who are constantly engaging with her on there, she actually friend requested them outside of that group. She's become friendly with them. She literally gets probably 5 to 10 new customers every single week. And she's like, these are all people I don't know that I've literally met through these Facebook groups. So, and this is something I got to be better about doing. I'm a member of some random groups, but I'm literally going to make a list, running groups, things that are of interest to me. It could be gardening. It could be knitting. Like I think of you, Denise, and your knitting. Like I'm sure there's some knitting groups. I want you guys to think about what are some interests that are really relatable that you would feel comfortable if you're doing one of those activities anyways, that you would post about it, that people might start to be interested in who you are. And then that's a way for you to start to expose yourself to new people. So I want you to do that at least once a week, to find a new group to sort of join. and start to get to know people based on personal interests or passions. 30 minutes of Facebook engagement a day, which we're all doing anyways, but I want you to be intentional with it. So yes, comment on your your friends' posts and stuff like that, but I really want you looking at your new friend request people, and I want you to start to engage with them about just what they're posting back and forth, because then they're going to start to see your posts. So I want you to start to build a Facebook relationship with them. Because when you build a Facebook relationship with them, then if they see one of your posts and they're interested, they're going to feel like you're familiar to them, and they're going to be comfortable to reach out and ask you about the product. I promise you that is where my people are coming from. I literally had a person who did a second order for me, and this is Trip Volume. I have no idea who she is, zero. But because I had been engaging with her back and forth, she saw one of my firm posts and she reached out to me. Now, for her, I knew she wasn't going to necessarily be comfortable giving me her credit card. So I asked her for all her other information. I ended up putting it on my credit card, which is, or my debit card, which is attached to my Venmo account. And so basically I said, hey, just Venmo me the money. I will run it through my own credit card. And that's how I took care of it for her. And I know Trisha does that as well. And so that is a way for people that you don't necessarily know, and maybe they're not going to be comfortable giving you their payment information, but they'll be interested in giving you all the other information. So that's a quick way to do it. Now, if they become a consistent customer, so this month she goes, no, I'd rather just Venmo you again. I'm like, that's fine. So I just make sure I keep, again, my daily planner is my Bible. That's where I keep track of this information. And, if she ends up ordering another month or two, I'm probably going to say, hey, can I please talk you through how you can update the payment information in your account so it's just linked to your credit card, so that we don't need to be doing this Venmo anymore. She may say she doesn't want to do that, and that's fine. But she may say, yeah, I actually really like the product. I think I'm going to be a consistent customer for you. Hold on one second. There's a couple chats. I thought Trip Volume was only new PCs. Yes, it is only new PCs, but new PCs within the qualifying time. So anybody that's ordered since April, they continue to be Trip Volume. So if people don't understand, that's why getting as many new customers and new brand partners right now is the most beneficial. That is why I have a lot of Trip Volume, is because it compounds. When you sign a new person up in the Trip Volume qualifying times, which was April 1st, then every month after that they continue to order, that counts towards Trip Volume. But somebody, for instance, one of the things that drove me crazy, because I actually probably would be at the 23,000, I had a huge March. So yes, super important, Jen. I'm so sorry you didn't know that. I'm not sure why you didn't know that, but I'm so sorry you didn't know that. Yes. So for me, what killed me was that I signed, I think, 3 brand partners in March, and I had, I think, 11 new customers in March. It was a huge month for me. And none of that got to count for me, and none of it moving forward. And a lot of those customers are reoccurring customers, so none of those count for me. But anybody that is signed for me, so I ran like crazy the end of April because it was double brand partner Trip Volume, and then every customer after. So those are the people that I continue to run promotions for too, because I want them to keep reordering. And let's say I'm running, like, for instance, I was doing some free sunscreens with people that were ordering like over $150. Well, I ran out of the sunscreen inventory. Well, I'm not going to purchase the sunscreen under myself. I'm going to purchase it under one of my customers. That's one of my new customers during the Trip qualifying volume time. I let them know, hey, look, you're not going to get a credit card like charge for this, but I'm going to run something underneath you so that I can get paid the commission and I can earn the Trip Volume since I'm running a promotion. So there's ways that you can be smart about any purchases you yourself have to make as well to benefit you. So something for you to really pay attention to. Okay, so the 30 minutes of Facebook engagement is definitely like commenting on your friends' stuff as well. But it's really intentional that you are commenting on new people that you have just friend requested. So you're building these relationships. So I say I want that 30 minutes, and that one's every single day because I know everybody's on Facebook every single day. There's very few days that any of you are not on Facebook. So every single day, at least 30 minutes, you are engaging on Facebook. I honestly probably do closer to an hour, and I do them in short increments. So I'll be on for a little bit. I'm super intentional about it, and then I get, back off. So for me, I probably do 4 15-minute like stints here and there when I have time. And again, my bathroom is my friend. That's where a lot of work goes down. So be intentional with your time so that you are utilizing the best that you can. Exposure to new people. This one, I want you to reach out to at least 2 people at least 5 times a week. This is the one that is a challenge because I used to say 2 a day, 2 a day, 2 a day. And 2 a day is not the same 2 people. 2 a day are 2 brand new exposures to people. And I'm sure people are like, I don't have new people to be exposing. So I'm going to tell you again, if you go through your Facebook friends and you start at the letter A and you write down 10 names, and you could reach out to, first of all, there's a couple things you could be doing. You could start engaging with them, so then it wouldn't be weird when you just reach out to them. Or you can just send them, and I did this actually, and actually got a bunch of samples out this way, and just sent a note, hey, and if I know them or whatever, I send a little personal thing, hey, I'm sure you've seen some of my posts about the skincare and wellness line I'm affiliated with. I'm trying to get samples out, free samples out to people to get some feedback from them. Can I send you some information, and would you, be willing to try some just for some feedback? That is exposure to new people. And I want you guys to track that. Again, 2 times, at least 5 times a week. 2 people, 5 times a week, and different people. And again, you need to be writing this down in your daily planner. Invitations to, and the other thing with the exposure to new people, be creative. This is where when people say, like when you do like a fun raffle, how many M&Ms, a guessing game, that is where your people who comment, you just built the list. When I did my Facebook models, can I post on your wall? I mean, I have this list of people that let me post on their Facebook wall. Now I have new exposures. I reached out to every single one of these people and said, hey, I really appreciate you letting me post on your wall. Can I send you some free samples? There's an exposure. Can I send you some information about the products? Have you tried any of them? That's 2 exposures. Do that 5 times a week. Literally takes 15 minutes to do that, if that. Invitations to an event. Guys, we got to try to start getting people to events. So my friend Mo, and I don't know if anybody on here knows Monique, Cindy was at the RRP that she came to, but I had those 2 open houses back to back. I had been sampling Mo. She was resistant. She was resistant. I'm telling you, 2 years. She finally came to one of my open houses, and she was, first of all, just excited to hear and see some more of the pictures. But she's like, I liked listening to you so much. And she finally ordered, and she actually ordered a fair amount. And now she wants to either host a party for me, or she's trying to get people on Facebook. I'm telling you guys, you've got to get people to an event, whether it's the market party, whether it's sit down for coffee and show them pictures on your phone. Invite people. Don't be afraid to reach out to somebody and say, hey, can we just sit down and have some coffee so I can tell you about some of these products? Or I'd love to tell you more about these products. Or can we meet for coffee? I'd love to catch up with you. You sit down, you chat with them about life in general, and then they're going to say, hey, what's going on with you? You start talking to them about Neora. Guys, figure out how to get them to a RRP, a market party, sit down for coffee, on a Facebook party. Oh my God, I gotta speed this up. I got 3 minutes. Samples out. I want you to try to sample 2 to 5 people every week. And if you're doing the other activities, that is going to be easy for you. I'm telling you, it will be. Follow up. Follow up is super important. I follow up with somebody every single day, and I probably average 3 to 5 people every single day. So these might be people that I sampled 3 or 4 months ago. They've gone completely ghost on me. I may just send them a quick note. Hey, You might not be interested in the product still, not a big deal at all, but just wanted to let you know I'm running a personal promotion, or we have this new Prolistic promotion. Super important to follow up with people. They just forget about it and they get busy. I've had more people that are like, oh my God, I've been meaning to send you a message, but I just got busy with life. Their priorities are different than yours. Don't think that you're harassing them. Be nice about it. I don't care if they say no to me. I am putting out the biggest net I possibly can. Third-party tools. I want you to do this 3 to 5 times a week. I want you to send a video, a brochure, a magazine, get them on a 3-way call, recorded call, etc., at least 3 to 5 times a week. And it could be just brochures. I don't care what it is, but 3 to 5 times a week, you should be utilizing one of your third-party tools where you don't have to talk at all. Just send it to people. You can send a note to one of your friends and say, hey, I know you've seen some of my posts. I'm just curious about getting some feedback about this video that they just put out on Go Prospect. Can I send it to you? Or we just got this new product. I'm super excited about it. Can I send you a quick video about it? And then just send it to them. And then follow up with them. Hey, did you watch that video? I'm curious what you thought of it. Do you want to try a sample? That's it. 3 to 5 times a week. They might say no, not a big deal. But you don't know. Like, they'll say you won't know unless you ask. And then new PCs. The last thing I'm going to have you track is every single week I'm going to have you track. Did you get any new Ps? If you did, just log that number. At the end of every single week, I want you to log your personal sales commission, and I want you to log your group qualifying volume. That way you're going to be able to see how you progress every single month based on what your activities are. And again, I'm telling you guys, this isn't going to happen overnight. You might not really start to see results until we get into week 11 or 12. But what you're going to see is that funnel is going to start to grow, and you're going to see growth if you are consistent with this after the 90 days. So if you are in and you want to do this, send me a note. But regardless, I'm going to put this in the feed. And those of you that have teams, I want you to reach out to each and every one of the people on your team that you have personally sponsored and say, look, I really want us all to get to Cabo. I would love to see us grow our business and make this whatever we want it to be. And if it's just to get free product, that's fine. Like, even doing some of these things will help just get free product. And they don't have to do it to this extent, but this is literally a roadmap of how to be successful in this business. So I hope this was helpful. It's exactly 9 o'clock. If you guys have questions, please shoot them to me. And again, take a look at this. And I want to know who wants to get to Cabo, because if you do, I want to help you. So I am ready to be very specific, very intentional with our time, because this isn't meant, you don't have to work more or harder. You just have to work smarter, honestly. So that's it. I hope everybody has a great night. Try to get on this call if you can. And again, reach out to me if you have any questions. So I hope everybody has a good night. I'm so sorry I'm not going to even give you guys time for questions, because I want you guys to get on the call with Shalyn. I think Ashley Phillips might be getting on there, and I'm telling you, if she's on there, you want to listen to her. She's probably at 25,000 in trip volume already. So she's somebody you want to be taking notes, and you want to be watching what she's doing on Facebook. And don't copy verbatim what she's doing, but you want to be following suit. So everybody have a great night.